Hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I am so happy to be with you here today. It's Tuesday, and that means it is Teach Me Tuesday. Hey, Jackie, I'm glad you're here. I do apologize for being a couple of minutes behind. Back to my old tricks. I've been doing really well on being on time, and today I ran 4 minutes behind. But I have something really fun for you today. We're going to learn how to build a scene. Hey Laura, I'm glad you're here. We're going to use those darling donkeys that are so adorable and free with a $50 order through the end of this month. And hello to each one of you who have gathered with me live. If you're watching this on replay, I welcome you as well. So if you're watching me live, hey Diane, I will typically call you out by name as you join in. But of course, if you're watching the replay, I'm still happy to have you join me at a different time. So hey Velma, I'm glad you're here. So I have a couple of baskets here, so I need to kind of clear my space a little bit. I was behind, and let's see. Let me send this greeting out real quick. Not greeting. A message. Okay. So, welcome Simone, I just messaged you. Okay, well, I think that we are going to get right into what we're doing today because it's going to take a little bit longer. Teach Me Tuesday is a little bit more involved because I'm teaching you typically some kind of a technique or how to use a new product or something like that. And then on Thursdays, it is simple and stepped up. So we do more quick and easy projects. So today, before we get started, I'm going to just show you well, maybe I'm not. I was going to show you my new class. Yeah, I think I will. My new class just released, and so I wanted to share it with you briefly. Okay, here we go. Down to my workspace. Hopefully I haven't made you seasick in the process, or turned the computer off or something like that. Hey Kathy, I'm glad you are here. And Susie, yay, I'm glad you like Teach Me Tuesday. It is my fun opportunity to do a little bit of teaching training. So yeah, you can see I've got my host code here. These are the little treats that we made on Thursday. These are the diaper fold treats. And with just these cute little sixlets, I've been kind of on a kick, and I'm going to be on the same kick today of doing non-traditional colors for Valentine's. And I'm going to just continue on that, in that vein, I should say. Let me grab my cards here. Nope. I'm here. I was grabbing something. I thought it was in my basket and it wasn't. So I was going to show you really quick, trying to get centered here, my newest class, and it is, this is my monthly class called Cards with a Twist, where I take a single stamp set and I do 8 cards with it. It's a $35 class, and it centers around a single stamp set. If you don't have the stamp set, you can usually, just substitute with other things that you have. But I think this is a hidden gem in our spring catalog. Hey, Gail and Kathy. So this is what I chose for my Cards with a Twist this month. And we actually worked with this particular bundle all weekend because I hosted an online event along with Jen Pitta on Cape Cod. Oftentimes refer to her as my East Coast bestie. and then Karina Chen from Canada, and we did all weekend using this stamp set. So let me show you a little bit of what we did the weekend, and then I'll show you what this class is. Oh, let me do it the other way around. Let me show you the class first. And I'll show you a couple of other projects that we did. So Cards with a Twist is where you do 2 each of 4 designs, but there's a twist. So this is my twist. The twist on this one is where I just changed out the colors, the Designer Series paper background, and then changed some of the colors. This one, the twist is, where's the other one? Here we go. I just flipped the Designer Series paper over. Because I flipped it over, I used the die cut here and not here. And then on this one, I also flip the Designer Series paper over. One of the things I'm featuring in this class is the new pearl paper. It is actually called Pearlescent, and you get a full sheet of it with this class. I'm going to teach you tips and tricks on how to use it. It's super, I wouldn't say it's shiny. It's almost like you take Wink of Stella to a whole piece of paper, and it's kind of that soft white. So it's not super bright white. It's kind of a little bit of a creamy white. And so that's what you're going to learn to stamp on it. You're going to learn to color it and do all kinds of different things with it. And then here is my twist for the last one. And this is a little bit of a fun fold. And we've colored the pearlescent paper here as well. So yes, I will add this to my website. I just released it last night, and Simone, thank you for your interest. I will put it on my sweetstamper.com website. So I'm really excited about this class. Super fun things to use. And like I said, you can use your own stamps if you wish. You can add on the stamps, or you can add on the bundle. Now with Stampin' Up, you always get 10% off when you purchase the bundle, and then I give you another 10% off. And then with this class, you also get my $35 class. Does not include this. It includes everything you need for the 8 cards. It includes a full sheet of this pearlescent paper. I do cut it into 12 by 6 for mailing purposes. You get a half package of this beautiful, beautiful Hydrangea Hill paper. You can see that I've used the kind of what's called the B side on a lot of these, but they are just really beautiful papers. So many fun things you can do with them. And then you're also going to get 3 sponge daubers, because that is one of the things, the ways that we're going to be coloring on that pearlescent paper. And then the other thing you're going to get, and I can only show you a piece of it because I've been using mine and they are on back order at the moment, these beautiful pastel pearls, and they are 2 different shades of purple plus pink plus gray or silver. So they're really, really lovely. So you'll get a full package of these. So anyway, I do work hard to give you really good value on this class. $35 gives you all of this with an option to add on some of the other elements. Peggy, I think you would absolutely love the paper. I have used it in so many ways, and you can see, I mean, this is actually kind of, I think, the B side of this paper. This is a B side for sure. Look at the A side. I mean, it's just really scrumptious. So this actually is a class by mail, Simone. So with the class, when I ship out everything for the class, I also send you a link. And the link has all of the PDF tutorials that you can download. It also has a video. And on the video, I show you tips and tricks on how to use this pearlescent paper. I walk you through each card so you have a little bit of an overview on the cards. And so yeah, you do get a video as well as the written tutorials for each project. So yeah, that is my Cards with a Twist monthly class. I've actually been doing this class, this format of the Cards with a Twist. I renamed it, but I've been doing this format for I think about 1.5 years. I don't know, I started doing this where instead of just doing 2 cards, 2 each of 4 designs, I thought, you know what, let me take that design, instead of just doing two exact ones, let me just twist it. Let me just change the orientation or change the designer paper. It's actually one of my favorite ways to design. I absolutely love it. And I think that what it shows you, and what it shows me as well, all of us, is the amazing versatility of our Stampin' Up! Products because of this amazing coordination of colors and everything. And designs, you can just do so much with it. So thank you, Marlene. I'm glad you think it's a great deal. I think it is too. So let me show you what we did at the event this weekend. This is one of the make and takes that I designed. We were featuring this, I think it's called True Love, the black and white paper. And so this is that same vine design bundle. So two different, again, you can see, I just kind of think this way. I took this same thing and I twisted it when it came time for my presentation. So showing you how to do the same. They got the, the die cuts and everything with their make and take packets, and they got the designer paper. So I just did, I just twisted it by changing the orientation and by changing the paper. And Peggy, I hear you. Sometimes people don't like making the same card twice. So I think this kind of helps you see the possibilities of doing something a little bit different. So this is one of the cards that I was showcasing at my event as well, just by way of inspiration. So this is, yes, the die cuts do come with the kit, Marlene. I do provide the die cuts. On this one, not part of my class, this was part of my presentation on Saturday. So I took this exact die cut here and I just colored it with Stampin' Write markers and used a different sentiment. And wow, I think that, I think, like I said, I think this is one of those hidden gems in the catalog. This is in our spring catalog. I don't know, for me personally, when I see what goes on back order, I run in the opposite direction because I don't want to be anywhere near all of the drama of trying to order stuff for a class and it's not available, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of look for the things that are not on back order and see what I can find to go with it. Now, one of the other things that we were featuring at this event on Saturday is this, what's it called? Snail Mail Designer Series paper. So this was one of the other things that they got in their kit. So this is my original design, and here's my twist version where I just showed you how to use different elements of the paper. Again, this is that same vine design. I love, love, love the font. It's just very clean, kind of a clean and simple, but it's a modern font. It reminds me a little bit of, if you like home decor and antiques, it reminds me of kind of a mid-century modern kind of a look to it. Now, I did use the new double oval punch for these cards, which I think actually coordinates beautifully with this whole suite. And then the other one I wanted to show you really quickly, and this is kind of what I cased one of my cards. I got this in a swap, and this is kind of what started my infatuation with Vine design. I think this is just such an elegant sympathy card, and this is the Vine design stamp. I love this label, and then there again is that very, very clean font. Okay. So that's enough show and tell with my newest Cards with a Twist class featuring Vine design. Let me move that basket aside and show you what we're going to do today. So I wanted to go back to the Darling Donkeys, which is one of the adorable stamp sets you can get free with a $50 order through the end of this month. This is my host code for February. And I wanted to make a scene, a true scene, not an emotional scene. Don't really want to make that kind of scene at all. And so I'm going to combine this, and we're going to work on making a scene using My Meadow. Now, My Meadow is a stamp set that if you went to On Stage, I think last year maybe, I think we got this for free from Stampin' Up. It was featured in last year's spring catalog, and it made it into the annual catalog. And although you can do some cool scenes with the stamp set and then just add a greeting. I like adding little elements of this scene to other things. And so that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm on a kick with the non-traditional colors, so I'm gonna do that as well. I'm gonna do a gray. I'm gonna be going with, what is this called? This gray is called Gray Granite. It is a warm gray. So I'm actually, I think I might make 2 cards with you. We'll see how we get on. And I'm going, let's build the scene first, and then we'll start choosing colors and things like that. So I wanted to create a scene, and I decided that the first thing I was going to do was create my little, my main focal point is going to be my scene. And I wanted to do it in such a way that it would have a nice bit of designer paper, cardstock around it. So I went with one of the stitched rectangles. This is, I think, a must-have for your collection of dies because they're basic shapes. You know, they're just basic rectangular shapes, but they have that lovely stitching on them. So I think that this is kind of one of those all-purpose, you know, there's 13 dies in here, so you get lots of different, and you get some skinny rectangles and some more traditional rectangles. So I've got 2 of them here, and what I do need to put underneath me is a little bit of scrap paper, and I'm just going to use this because I think what I'm going to start with is I think I will put my I'll put my donkey on there first, and I'm going to use my tuxedo black ink because we are going to color him with the blends. When I've done the little donkeys before, I was using watercolor pencils. This time I wanted to use the blends, and you can see that I'm placing my donkey down near the bottom of my cardstock, and I'm putting him down first because he is the main attraction here. And I also want to be able to figure out where I'm going to place everything else in relation to my donkey. So he goes first, and then I'm actually going to put him away because I don't need the stamp, and I don't need the stamp set anymore. So, you know, when you're creating a scene, you typically use more than one stamp set. Oh, Peggy, thank you. It is nice to hear it is nice to hear someone else's voice. You know, during this time where so many of us are isolating, we kind of get, we kind of get lonesome for each other, don't we? So I'm glad that you're joining me here today. Okay, so I'm going to close this up for the moment because I'm going to add some other things here, but before I do that, I'm going to try my hand at doing a little bit of sky. And I'm going to employ these new brushes. Now, these are the blending brushes, and I will say I just started using them. I think I'm going to work them up in such a way that I can actually do a full-on techniques class with them. And I think my brush is still on my design space. Yeah, there it is. A lot of us are discovering that when you start using these, you might want to just dedicate one to blues, one to greens, because they do get a little bit of color. They're not a sponge. When I first saw these in the catalog, I thought they were like a sponge with a handle, but they're actually super, super fine brushes. So I wanted to try my hand at making a little bit of sky. So, and my favorite blue for sky is Seaside Spray. This is actually one of our in colors that will be leaving us in May, and I will truly, truly miss it. I think it's just a lovely, lovely color. We don't have anything quite like it. Now I'm going to actually come over here and put color on a block because I don't want to be dipping this into my stamp pad. For one thing, I don't want that much ink, and I don't want to waste my ink either. So I'm just going to put it there. Gives me a little bit more control. So I can pick up just a little bit of ink here, and then I can add just a little, I just want a little hint of sky blue. And I'm not gonna bring this all the way down. Well, maybe I will. I wasn't going to bring it all the way down, but maybe I will. I'm just kind of going around my donkey, and you can see how it's building up just a hint of color there. So you can see when I put it directly on the white, you can see it gives me just a little bit of color. And I think that that helps my scene to not look like it's just drawn on a piece of white paper. It looks a little bit more like an actual scene in a painting, like a little pastel drawing or something like that. So I'm actually really liking the way that's coming out. So I think I'm going to do it on both of these. So let's just do the same thing and just a very, very light wash of Seaside Spray. I will go in and create an inspiration sheet for this. And I call these inspiration sheets because they're not tutorials where they're step by step. I do those for my classes. But for my Facebook Lives, I usually give what I call an inspiration sheet. It's going to give you all the supplies I used and the measurements. And that way, if you're wondering, well, you know, what shade of blue did she use, or what size was that piece of cardstock, it's readily available. But the demonstration on the video kind of shows you what you needed. So there you go. This one's a little bit darker, this one's a little bit lighter, but that is with the blending brush. So I'm done with that. I'm going to put it aside. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun with this guy. So what we are going to do is, like I said, I'm going to be using several stamp sets. I'm going to use my greeting from Valentine Keepsakes. I'm going back here to this one that I have just really, really loved. This is the one I used on Thursday when I was making these sweet little treats. And, you know, Gail, you can clean the brush after you use it, but I think what a lot of us are doing is just dedicating one to blues, one like to light blues, and just clearing it a bit like this so that I don't have to go to the trouble of cleaning the entire thing. When you clean it, it's gonna stay stained. So I think that's one of the other reasons that we're doing that. But like I said, I'm just starting to learn. I'm definitely not I don't feel like I'm in a place where I could teach you a whole lot about it right now. But as I gain some more knowledge and some skill with it, then I will definitely be sharing that with you. Okay, so let me go back in. And the reason I didn't do my greeting first is sometimes when you're sponging ink or adding ink to your cardstock and you have your black already down there, it will kind of diminish this and make it kind of dull. And I wanted this to be really bold. And if I put the blue ink on top of that, it will kind of soften it. And I wanted that to be really strong. So you can already tell how I'm kind of starting with non-traditional Valentine. You wouldn't think that this little donkey would be a Valentine greeting, but I think that it's going to end up being a super cute Valentine card. Okay, now I really am done with my black ink, so I will put it over here and put this little guy back in here. Like I said, I think this is a great value for $18. It gives you a lot of things. This particular greeting is the only truly Valentine greeting. The rest you can kind of use year round. Okay, so let me put that over here. Now, we are ready to add, I think we're going to do the donkey first, and then we'll add some other things to our scene. Now, I've grabbed some colors here, And I'm going to start with the darkest, brightest colors. I wanted to go with something pretty bright for the flower because I want the flower to really, really pop. It's kind of my Valentine element because I'm putting a red rose in my little donkey's mouth. And so I've done Granny Apple Green there. Now I'm going to go with Poppy Parade. I want this really, really bright red. Woo, look at that. That is bright. And I think maybe just for comparison's sake, we'll do one with the dark Poppy Parade. And if you hear that pop, it's where I like to make sure when I close my blends that I'm well and truly closed. So what I do is I put the cap on there and push it down and just pop it. So I know for me personally, I have some weakness in my hands just from arthritis and stuff. So that enables me to do that without having to kind of try to finagle it with my hands. So now I am going to put a little bit of Petal Pink in my donkey's ears. And this is the light Petal Pink. And I'll do, you know what, I should do the light. I'm doing light blends over here and dark blends over here. So let's just keep on that. So this is the dark. You definitely see the difference. And then I am going to use gray granite for my little donkey here. And but I think for my donkey, I probably better just go with dark hooves and light fur because I didn't bring over any other grays to be able to do a difference. So I'm just going to give him dark gray granite hooves, dark gray granite on his little tail here and his little forelock. And I did just figure out I do need a little bit more on his snout. You know, I've shared on here before, I'm not one typically to spend like an hour coloring in a bunch of stuff. Largely because my attention span isn't very long. But I will say that this little guy, he doesn't take a lot. You can color him in and it doesn't take a lot. So I'm going back over my my donkey, my darling donkey, and I'm giving him snout and lips in the Petal Pink as well as his ears. Now I'm going to come in with the light gray granite and I'm just going to go ahead and fill him in the rest of the way. Now I am using the brush tip and that is the easiest way to cover these large areas. But then I'm going to use the smaller tip to do his legs because they are a little bit narrow and skinny here, and I need to make sure that I don't end up out of the lines. Don't really want to do that. So he is a cutie, isn't he? And I think also, you know, when you're thinking of non-traditional Valentines, this little guy is just going to fit the bill. And I just think he's adorable. They're aptly named. The darling donkeys are very aptly named. So there's my little donkey there. And then I'm going to bring this little guy the same way. Just give him a little fill in all around the outside here, and then his legs. And you can see, you know, you can do two cards simultaneously or side by side, and that way I will have two of these little guys done. I may end up sending these to my grandchildren, not sure. These would be super cute, honestly, to give to a husband, to give to a grandchild. It's just such a cute little, to a girlfriend. I mean, I think this little darling donkey you could give to just about anybody. Okay, now I want to do a little bit of adding in our scene, because we've got some, let's pull some proper grid. Well, this is proper grid paper, but it is laminated. I need some grid paper. So I'll pull out my very pretty in color grid paper. Now let's add a scene. So what I wanted to do first, from my meadow, I have a lot of different options here, and I'm going to use I thought the little birds up in the sky would be kind of cute. So let's start with the birds. I keep thinking I'm done with my black ink, and then I keep bringing it back out. So what I'm going to do, I don't want the birds to be black like this, so I'm going to stamp them off. And then I'm going to bring them right up here. So the birds are in the sky, right above Be Mine. Okay, so there I've got some birds in the sky. And then I'm going to add a little bit of greenery down near the bottom of my donkey. And this is where it's going to really make him come alive. So I've chosen this little clump of grass, or I could turn them into flowers. So there and there, and then I'll do one more like that. And then you see how it just totally changes my scene and really makes it come alive. Yeah, I love the donkeys too, Kathy. They are adorable. They really are. So this is where something like my meadow really comes into play. Because like I said, yeah, you can do some things with just this, but I think it's really, I think it's more useful to add it in to another, make a scene with it. So now that is Granny Apple Green is what I wanted to use, the same green that I used. You always see a hint of it in my donkey's mouth. And then I did use Poppy Parade for my rose. Now you'll notice when I go to stamp the Poppy Parade, it's going to be lighter because the blends have a much deeper, they have a much deeper saturation. So now I'm going to take this little image of the flowers, kind of looks like tulips, doesn't necessarily have to be, but I'm going to ink up these flowers, and let me get my head in here. I'm afraid I'm gonna, there we go. And then they become little flowers. Aren't they adorable? So let me go over here and bring in here. And then I can add another set over here. And they're just so cute. So I think I almost like having just one set of flowers better than the two. I'll let you guys kind of weigh in and tell me what you think about that. Now I will say, as I've been working here, I've made a couple of little smudges. So I do have my handy dandy basic tool kit here, and I'm going to show you what you can do with this Stampin' Chalk marker, and that is come in here where I've got a little bit of gray, and I'm just going to dab some white on it and kind of make that go away for the most part. So definitely softens it, makes it not quite so obvious. And I think honestly, it's just one of those things that I kind of see, but probably somebody else wouldn't, especially once you get everything else on there. Just one of those little things. Okay, now comes the extra fun part, because we are now going to put these little guys on a piece of gray granite. I specifically went towards this warm gray because my donkey, he looks like a little burro with his gray color. Did I forget to put my, yes, I always forget to put my bone folder back in. Here's one right here, yay. I think that, you know, donkeys can be brown or gray, but I just kind of like that gray. It's a little bit, let's go this way. Okay, now I wanted to put a little bit of a background behind him. And I've got a couple of different options here. This is the gray from, what's it called? This is a suite in the annual catalog, and it's the one with the peonies, So I could either go with this kind of chevron gray, which I like a lot. This to me is a little bit busy, the peonies, but I don't know, it's kind of nice too. This is another piece from the peonies, and this is another one of the geometric patterns, which I really like. And then the other side is the peonies. Again, very non-traditional colors, but it just kind of shows you some of the directions you can go. Now, if that's not enough choices for you, I pulled in some paper from the Ice Cream Designer Series paper, and look here. There you've got these fun kind of, what do you call them, like watercolor splotches. Those are kind of fun. Then if you go on this side, you get more of a solid look, and they are really, this one is especially playful, I think, the polka dots. So I'm going to kind of wait, and you like the one with the gray on your right, I think. Ooh, let's see, not sure where I was going. I've given you a lot of options here. I think this was the gray you were referring to, maybe, Sue? You like the gray flowers on there? You like the green and blue, Jennifer? Surprise, surprise, I know you like this paper. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Really kind of fun. And so Sue likes these flowers here. I will say, don't you think that they make the colors on the donkey really pop? And very non-traditional colors as far as a Valentine. But we're going to bring in a couple of elements to just make it a little bit more Valentine-y. I can, if I want to, add a wee bit of ribbon here, like so. Really kind of feminizes this and makes it soft and sweet. I could, the green splotches, you like it too, Velma. Okay, so Jennifer, yeah, I'm doing two. So maybe this is where we're going to go. This is the gray, what's it called? Not basic gray, gray granite from this suite. But look how it looks there, how it brings my little guy out. So maybe that's the direction we're going to go. So Susan, I'm glad you joined us. We'll take you late. We're just kind of finalizing the designs. We made a little scene with our donkey in some non-traditional Valentine colors. So let's just go ahead and start working towards this. I think that everybody's kind of happy with these choices. So let me grab my adhesive kit and get some of this going, and a little bit of this and this. Okay. Yeah, Susan, I'd love for you to watch this from the beginning, because this is Teach Me Tuesday, and I'm teaching how to create a scene. So let's go ahead and put this down with my Stampin' Seal. And I think this is honestly probably strong enough to hold my piece of ribbon. I am placing my ribbon a little bit down at about the bottom third. That's typically what I like to do. I don't very often put it like right smack in the middle. I'm hoping that I'm down here in the camera where you can see. And are you guys seeing okay? Am I light enough? Do I need to add some light? I have a lamp here, but sometimes this light, because you know it's starting to get darker this time of day. Okay, so this is coming along. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on dimensionals. I don't think I'm going to add any kind of a ribbon knot or twist or anything like that. I typically do, but I think on something like this, it's, you know, the donkey is the main attraction, and the ribbon is just kind of adding a little bit of softness and a little bit of texture. I love to add ribbon to cards because it adds that bit of texture. Now I could go down here in the corner, or I could go in the center. I think on this one we'll go in the center. Maybe on the next one we'll go down the corner just to kind of change it up a little bit. And then the last thing we're going to do, we are going to add some little hearts. But let's keep going here and see how this guy is going to really be on a bit of modern art here, because these paint splotches to me are very much a modern art look, and I think that they are super, super cute. So well chosen. Okay, so I don't really need the light. Well, you've got a little bit of a bump on my ribbon. Let's see if we can hide that. Okay, let's rub that into place, and let's put our donkeys right there. Oh my. Now look how when I put it down kind of in the corner, you can see a little bit more of the paint splotches than when I do it in the center. So I think on this one, I'm going to put him down towards the corner. I think it all kind of depends on, yeah, the dots would have been fun, Jennifer. I think the dots are super playful and would look really cute with this donkey as well. So I think that, you know, sometimes you like the paper from a suite, but maybe you're not going to go for the stamp set. Maybe you're not going to go for the dies and everything. But this paper is super cute from the ice cream suite. So now I'm going to put that right like so. And like I said, I would give these cards to my grandkids. I give them to my husband. I mean, I think they're just that kind of, they're a little bit quirky. They're a little bit kind of off kilter. They're a little bit definitely non-traditional as far as a Valentine goes. But let's add a couple of these resin hearts. And I think I'm going to use the red ones. I could use the white ones. Let's just kind of see how we get on with them and see what we think. I need to grab my handy dandy take a pick tool, and let's just see. Let's start over here. Do we want to do them here? I think we might do them right here. And let's just see what we think about something like this. A few little hearts coming down. What do we think? And maybe on this guy, maybe we'll do white hearts. I don't know. Maybe we do white and red. These are just adorable. And you know, these are super flat. So, oh, look at that. You could almost make like a little, you could make little hearts. Oh my lands, that would be super cute too. Ay, ay, ay. This could just, you know, this would also be super fun to do with a friend or your grandkids, just to make some of these little cards together. So what do you think? Quirky is your thing, yeah. You have another ice cream stamp set already. So so I think that's a great point, Jennifer. I know a couple of years ago we had a heart above his head. Now let's do that. We had a stamp set and a different punch for the ice cream. So maybe you have that one, and maybe you want to still use that one. Let me see if I can. Yep, I can lift that. It has not stuck down yet. Let's see if we can put the heart right above his head. Look at that right up there by the Be Mine. Super cute. You know, these are so tiny. You really could use quite a few of these, and they're super flat, so they're great for mailing. So now we kind of have them. Did I get ink on that one? I think I did. These are little, oh no, I got it off. Okay, I think it was a piece of putty. Yeah, these are just, let's put this a little bit more on the Be Mine. I like that, Jennifer. That was a great call. And then let's just, I think we're going to do just 3 here, and we're going to do 5 here. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to remove this color underneath here, because I think then you get a little bit more of a true look. And tell me what you think about our fun little time of building scenes with the Darling Donkeys to make some kind of quirky, non-traditional Valentines. So this one is definitely more quirky, but I think this one's definitely more feminine because of the flowers. But they're super fun to make, and showed you just the beginning of working with the little brushes and using, you know, any kind of a Valentine greeting. You might have a Valentine greeting from the January Paper Pumpkin Kit. You might have a Valentine greeting from a past Valentine set, or you may have purchased this Valentine keepsakes, which I really do love. But that is my little Teach Me Tuesday on how to create a scene. Not a dramatic one. We don't want to create those kind of scenes. Using my meadow, and I may end up using this on another one. Well, we'll see. I get too many ideas and not enough time. But I'm super happy with these, and I appreciate all your input. The petal pink peach ribbon makes it feminine. Yeah, you're right. This ribbon does really bring in that feminine side with these flowers. And petal pink and poppy parade are definitely counterparts of one another. And I think we had a lot of fun. So yeah, too many ideas and not enough time. Exactly, Susie. I think that's just kind of the challenge of creativity, whether you're creatively cooking, whether you're creatively card making, or I know you're a quilter. There are so many ideas and not enough time. But I really do appreciate you coming and hanging out with me here today. And this was very, very fun. And I think it's just been a little bit of teaching and a little bit of creating together and a whole lot of fun. So that is it for me today. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember that if you want to place an order, I have my host code special, and that will give you extra gifts. And of course, right now, it's a free stamp set, namely these Darling Donkeys with a $50 order. And I love it when you guys give me hearts. Makes my heart very happy. So thank you so much. And I will jump on here. I'm going to make a quick cup of tea, and then I'm going to jump on here and put together my inspiration sheet. So you'll see all the colors I used and the papers and the measurements and everything, so that if you wanted to try your hand at something like this, either with some stamps that you already have, or if you wanted to order some of these, then you'll have that information ready. So thank you so much. Oh, I'm glad you came on, Betty. It's good to see you. And I appreciate you being here so very much. I will be here Thursday for Simple and Stepped Up Stamping. So join me then, and in the meantime, take care and God bless.